Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the City of Glens Falls Common Council meeting. It's Tuesday, May 27th, 7:30. We are ready at 7:30, so we'll start our regular session. We'll call the meeting to order, and we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance led by Councilman Lane. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next up on our agenda is public comment. If any members of the public would like to address the common council, I ask you to come up and read us or tell us your name and an address. And also just want to remind you, we've got new rules for our council agenda, or not new rules, but the public comment period, no longer than 3 minutes, and to address the entire council, and that this is not a public, it's not discussion, but a public comment period. So we'll make sure we listen.
My name's Royce Lawrence. I reside at Hudson Point Boulevard in Queensbury. The president of the Adirondack Youth Hockey Association. Just a quick statement from Adirondack Youth Hockey. As the Adirondack Youth Hockey Association proudly enters its 50th year of serving our community, we reflect on the incredible legacy of youth development, sportsmanship, community built around the Glens Falls Rec Center. For 5 decades, this rink has been more than just a sheet of ice. It has been a second home to thousands of young athletes, their families, and the dedicated coaches and volunteers who support them. Today, AYHA serves over 700 members, including players, coaches, and volunteers. The Glens Falls Rec Center is a central hub for all of our programming and the foundation upon which our athletes learn not only hockey skills, but also teamwork, perseverance, and discipline. We are deeply concerned by the reports that the Rec Center is in need of significant servicing and may not be operational in time for the start of the 25-26 season this October. Our contract, along with our full schedules of practices, games, and events, relies on this critical facility being ready and safe for use. The potential unavailability of this rink would have a profound impact not just on the AYHA, but on the broader Glens Falls community. In addition to regular league play, our programs host approximately 75 visiting teams a season who stay for the entire weekend for tournaments and events throughout the season. We also have many more teams that travel to our rink for day-long events, contributing to the vibrancy and economic health of the local community, including hotels, restaurants, and businesses. We urge city officials and all involved stakeholders prioritize the necessary maintenance and improvements to the Glens Falls Rec Center to ensure it is fully operational by October. The success of our 50th anniversary season and the continued vitality of youth hockey in our region depends on it. Thank you for the continued support of AYHA and the young athletes we support.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Not hearing any. Go to committee report. Councilman Clark.
Yes, thank you. The Sustainability Committee met on May 19th. We talked about a couple different agenda items. The one that took the time was we had some vendor come in to talk about putting solar on the Cool and Churn Arena. They outlined several options for payment of this. Where they're going to be putting pencil to paper, so we have some better numbers to present to the council. But we've had gone back and forth about viability of solar on the arena, and for various reasons it didn't work. But now we've got a group that thinks that it can, and highlighted some ways to pay for that, but just in generalities right now. The landfill, as far as solar goes, DEC has decided that they like our putting solar on our landfills, our brownfields, that they're trying to put something standardized together, and that's slowing that up for us a little bit. the charging stations for the vendor that is now has taken over PISO, taken over our charging stations. And they're working to get those, the ones that are down up and running. The other thing we're looking at, Volt Post, is charging stations on poles, and which is an interesting concept. It doesn't really work in a lot of our areas because of our ornate poles that we have. But the regular poles, the wooden poles, would work there. So they're exploring that with Jeff. We looked at potential locations are Warren Street, parking lot, Pearl Street, Hudson Avenue. So that's ongoing. Our climate smart communities, there's working on that. Hopefully get that on the agenda for a consultant there to work on, so we can have that as part of the comprehensive plan in the end, which we all are supportive of and think it's a good idea. Community hydro project, there's as everybody, or if you pay attention to social media, we had there was a ceremony on the 21st regarding recommissioning of Warrensburg Hydro Facility, which we reap benefits from as far as hydro credits that we get from that for the city. Our next meeting will be June 16th at 5:30 in the mayor's conference room. So, Ben, did I miss anything?
I just with I think the Volt Post one,
Right.
I think that's actually moving ahead.
Okay.
And for the plug-in stations online, I think that was held up because they're having supply chain issues.
Thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome.
And that is it.
Councilman Lee?
Thank you. Personnel and Labor Committee is going to meet tomorrow, 11:30, Human Resource Office, to discuss a couple of different issues. Our day user task force continues to meet, hopefully trying to provide a better quality environment downtown and address the different issues that occur in our park. Assist those individuals who might need to get some assistance to congregate in the park. We met last Friday, the 23rd. We got an update on the grant applications that we submitted to Warren County for monies that's available through the opioid funding that they received. The process is not an overnight process. The applications are in. It may not be till July or August until the monies are available. And I'm sure that Supervisor Driscoll, who's sitting here in the audience, will rally the troops together and get us some money. So be happy about that. That's it.
Thank you. Councilwoman Palmer, committee.
The Building and Codes Committee was scheduled to meet last week, I think it was, but we had a member who had an emergency and we decided that there was no crucial items that couldn't wait. So we postponed that and it will be rescheduled. The grant applications that Councilwoman Landry spoke about, I think we will have an opportunity to comment when it's before the Board of Supervisors and the Finance Committee, and I think there's another committee it goes through. So if anybody would like to attend and speak on our behalf, I think it would be good. I'm willing to go. Maybe Darton, you could go. Might as well be there to answer questions and advocate for our grant.
What date is that?
I'll forward you the emails Supervisor each who shared with us. Yep.
Councilman Webb, committee.
The tech committee will be meeting Monday, June 2nd at 4:30 p.m. Both in the mayor's conference room and online in the meeting.
Councilman Good, committee report. Thank you. Let's see. Under our consent agenda, I ask you to all bear with me a little bit as we try to perform it. So under a consent agenda, There are 8 items. If there's any questions or comments about those, we'll hold them for discussion. If not, then I will read through them and we'll take a vote. So consent agenda item 5.1, approval of the 5/13 common council meeting minutes. 5.2, approval of the controller's office manual check payment report. 5.3, consent approval of, approval of the community development manual payments. 5.4, approval of outside dining permits, number 13 through 20, 13-2025. 5.5, approval of mobile food licensing applications, 102-20, number 102-2025 through 125-25. 5.6, approval of encroachment permits, number 32 through 36, and number 28 as well. And 5.7, approval of encroachment permits 33-2025 and 35-2025. And 5.8 is the consent agenda approval of our warrant. And is there a motion to approve these items?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. Under our regular agenda, under economic and community development, there is 6.1 through 6.6. Any of those the council would like to pull for discussion? Not hearing, hearing anyone, I will. 6.1 is discussion approval to hold a second public hearing on Tuesday, July 8th, 2025 at 7:25 for the City of Glens Falls CBG program for the 25 through 29 5-year consolidated plan for program year 2025, action plan and budget. 6.2, do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. 6.2, discussion and vote approval of the VRP project number VRP-DF01 with a maximum award amount of $200,000. Owner cash to be determined in the bid process based on the total project cost. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Can we just say what the VRP project what that stands for?
Yeah, it's a motion to, it's an award to the creation of a new 3-year round apartment renovations located at 18 to 22 Ridge Street.
VRP stands.
Rental program,
Sorry,
it's on the internet.
Dollar. just read it from municipalities. So we had a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Motion carries. 6.3, this approval of the community development housing rehabilitation application H23-10 New York State Home Program in the amount of $35,744. We have a motion.
So moved.
To exit. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. 6.4, approval of community development housing rehabilitation application number H23-12 HUD in New York State Home Program in the amount of $24,800. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. 6.5, approval of the granting and the award of case file number 2024 HB-001 in accordance with the City of Glens Falls 80K Gateway Homeownership Program in the amount not to exceed $40,000.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. 6.6, approval of the granting of the award for case file number 2024-HB02 in accordance with the City of Glens Falls 80K Gateway Home Ownership Program in the amount not to exceed $40,000.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 7, agenda item is the police departments. We've got one motion under there. Any questions or comments? Not hearing any. 7.1 is a motion to approve stock DWI program proceeds in the amount of $30,205.50 to increase public safety income line and to increase the the police department overtime line.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. 8 is Department of Public Works. We have two motions in this, 8.1 and 8.2. Any questions?
One question I have is that, can we read out the ones and then approve them under the department?
You mean read them first and then?
Yeah,
approve
read
them
all
together?
those, yeah, and then like for 8, read those ones, and then we can approve them.
Can we approve them together?
I mean, so based on, other than the consent agenda, as she is the liaison, they said we really should be approving resolutions together. It really should be.
Okay.
separate. So that's why the consent
Nope.
agenda is for the.
Yep.
Okay.
No, it's fine.
So 8.1, approval of electrical box with damage caused by a vehicle accident for $954.56. That would increase insurance recovery and then also increase the electrical highway street equipment.
So moved.
Second. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. 8.2, approval and repair of damaged DPW wood chipper caused by the vehicle accident report, $2,336.45. That increases the insurance recovery line and increases the DPW equipment line.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. 9, under the Controller's Office, we have 3 motions. Any questions about them? 9.1 is to approve the payment and agreement for 48 McCarter Street, tax map number 302.12-3-6. The 25 down payment for the taxes due have been made.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. 9.2 is discussion and vote approved payment agreement for 4 Holman Street, tax map number 302.20-15-10. A 25% down payment has been made for the taxes due.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. 9.3, discussion and vote approved payment for agreement for 200 Glens Street, tax map number 302.20-28-5. A 25% down payment for taxes due has been made.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. 10, under the engineering department. We have all 3 of these in Councilman Clark. You wanted to pull,
Yes, I just, someone else is gonna have to carry the water on this one, so.
you
I will be abstaining from these 3 since I am employed by New York State Court System.
Anybody have any questions about these 3 resolutions? Not hearing any. Approval of the bid number 10.1.
Just to
Sure.
be clear, this is, we're approving this, and then we're going to be reimbursed by the court system.
Yes, at 105%.
Yeah.
Okay. Approval to award the bid contract number CGF 25-01 in the amount of $178,690 for the city of Glens Falls courtroom renovations and improvement to Bonacostino Brothers Construction for general construction work.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Abstain.
And 1 abstaining. Thank you. 10.2, approval of the award bid contract CGF 25-01 in the amount of $114,900 for the city of Glens Falls courtroom renovations and improvement for electrical construction to Roselle East Inc. Good motion. Good second.
Okay.
All in favor? Any approved? Any opposed? Excuse me. And 1 abstaining.
Abstain.
Thank you. Motion carries. Thank you. 10.3, approve the CPLSP proposed amendment for design construction services associated with the bid contract CGF 25-01 City of Glens Falls courtroom renovations and improvements in the amount of $14,500.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? One abstain. Thank you. 11, old business, Councilman Clark,
I have none.
Councilman Lee,
No old business.
Councilwoman Palmer.
Yes, I was wondering if you could give us an update on where we are with the room.
Sure.
Yeah.
So we're waiting to hear from DEC. As I sent to you in the update, we have done the testing that was suggested by DEC. LaBelle has done the testing. There were no propylene found in any of the test wells outside of the rink. There was propylene found inside the chiller pit. We have now, LaBella has requested of DEC to pull the chiller pit equipment so we can assess what may be wrong. We've engaged professionals that can help us figure out what's happening. But we can't do any of that until we hear from the DEC that they agree with the proposed action. All the goals are to get this back and fixed before the hockey season. There's no reason to think that there is, but there also is no, we just don't know what's wrong with the equipment. So we can't pull that chiller equipment. The recommendation from LaBella is to pull the equipment, test that ground that's there inside the building, and then move forward with the assessment. And as soon as we are reaching out to DEC every 4 days and saying, hey, have you got anything for us? Are we ready to go? And we haven't gotten a response. So as soon as it's done, we've actually got the people as recommended by so Siemens is, or excuse me, it's not Siemens, it's Carrier. There's recommended people that can help us with this and repair other rinks like ours. And so we're ready to engage with them as soon as we get to go out.
Do we have a plan for how we are going to fund it?
No, because we don't know what's wrong. So you can't have a plan for how to fund. You don't know if you've got some small leaks in the fins of the chiller pit. Again, there's no propylene outside the building, so we don't believe there's any leaks in the cement that would be where the pipes that run back and forth. But until we know what's wrong, we can't have a plan.
I had sent a couple of grants to Tom and Jeremy that were specifically for cooling systems that were from the DEC. I don't know if those were passed along to you. That was a while ago. I think April 22nd. I sent that, but just some of these grants, I think we have to maybe do some late work, to get to be ready. And then when we get more information, we can complete them. But
And we have a meeting set up with AYHA, I think later this week or next week. So with Tom's, we talked to Royce, I believe, this week. So as soon as we're meeting with you now and tell you it's what we can do.
So part of the testing was that there's ethylene glycol or
Both propylene and ethylene.
yeah,
Yeah,
and the ethylene glycol is toxic, and the propylene glycol is non-toxic. And do we know how much ethylene glycol was involved?
no, we have, as I said after the
Yeah.
last council meeting, right there, we have a contract with Carrier the contract was for glycol. The last bills that we've gotten we've looked at the last bills of the last 5 years, and they're all saying glycol. And then there are 3 buckets that are in our equipment room. That is what we shared with the DEC, and so that's all propylene glycol. So we don't know. We also don't know how much, we don't know how long ago it was, right? This system has been for over 30 years. And so, yes, it is toxic. So, the 3 triangles that in any kind of a chemical that you go to buy, it has the 3 things that show the toxicity level of it. Propylene glycol. So it's on a scale from 0 to 5. Propylene is 000. And ethylene is 001. So, but it is listed as.
It is a toxic chemical.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, no, we can't, we know what we know.
It just seems when you're saying 0001
Mhm.
that you're dismissing that it's a toxic.
So I'm not dismissing anything. I'm just telling you what I know. And I know very little about these, but that's why we're trusting, or not trusting, but rely on the information. DEC will tell us what more needs to be done. That's why we do it.
Yeah, and it goes back to messaging too, because there was messaging that went out to the public saying it was only glycol, uh, uh, propylene,
Probably.
like, yeah, propylene glycol. Like, it's like, there's too many syllables. But it was initially like, this is a food additive,
It is.
and then this is actually a petroleum distillate with the ethylene.
So it's a coagulant and that there was no indication that there's any ethylene glycol near the building.
But
So we told you what, we told you, it's not messaging. We told you exactly what we
No, I
know.
mean, it's messaging, it was a press release.
Yeah, I,
That's
exactly.
messaging.
That's what we had and that's what we acknowledged. So we can only tell you what we know.
Well, there wasn't a subsequent one messaging to say exactly that there was some.
Yeah.
That there was toxic material, so we had messaging from the city saying that there wasn't. And then there was subsequently not a follow-up saying that we did detect this. Which is not transparent government operations.
So the other thing I wanted to bring up under whole business, I read in the Chronicle last week about our plans to create a transportation hub at 333 Glen Street
Mhm.
and parking and various other things that I don't remember ever talking about at the council. So I was just wondering if you could give us an update on that so that we know kind of what your thoughts are and how that process is going. Because I don't believe we've ever talked about that as a council. I read it in the paper.
Well, I believe we have. I believe that we have, we've talked about being in negotiations. And it's actually been held. And Kathy, we've applied for a grant. We originally applied for a grant, a federal grant for the Elm Street lot, and were denied that for a transportation hub.
Yeah.
We resubmitted that grant with both hope that 333 Glen, and there's another parking lot that was is a potential, which could be the St. Mary's lot. So we've applied for the grant to see if the federal government will, it's a planning grant that would allow us to design it. And we've been meeting with 333 Glen and that's where we are. We're waiting to hear back about that grant and they're ready to move forward. And we're continuing to meet with 333 Glen.
And they're also ready to move forward with this?
They said they were, although there was a quote in the Chronicle that Kevin had said he didn't have much faith, but because the government's not working as fast as he'd like. The grant we haven't heard back from, and so we're not going to move forward. We don't have any, can't move forward with something we don't have.
And St. Mary's also is open to having the
We
transportation.
haven't talked to St. Mary's. We just identified, what you do is you identify potential things. We don't know where it would be. We're applied for the grant and we're working with 333 Glen, talking to them about it. St. Mary's through the, I believe we may have had an original conversation. It's a matter of applying for the grant and then seeing what can be done.
Okay, I just want to make sure I understand. I'm just trying to make sure I know the information because when my constituents ask me, I want to be informed about it.
Sure.
You're saying we applied for a grant to do a parking,
To invest in a transportation hub, the exact same one that we had originally applied.
at both 333 Glen or potentially St. Mary's, but we haven't actually gotten buy-in for sure from either of those
That's
places.
correct.
But we applied for a grant to put a parking hub there.
No, to expand, the grant is to study it and to develop the plan for it. So we listed several different possible locations. That's it.
Okay, well, just learning about this, it seems like we would want to get input from the people before what happens if we were to get the grant and they said, no, I don't want to do this?
We'll find another
And
location.
are we allowed to do that?
Yes.
Move the grant? Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay, well, thank you for the update.
Well, thank you. Old business, Councilman Webb.
I just was hoping to get an update on the investigation around Michelle McFerrin's depth.
Yeah, there hasn't been, you've been invited to go and speak to the chief.
I work
Yeah,
in Albany, Monday through Friday from 8 to 4. I asked the chief if he could meet me at another time, and he hasn't gotten back.
I think he's waiting to hear from you, let me know what time you want to meet. He said,
He did not respond to me when I said that I could meet with him between 8 and 4 and asked him for a time. I've also had difficulty dropping by, that he's not at his office when I've been by to see him. So he needs to set an appointment with me sometime not between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. because I have not been able to talk to him. He could just call me on the phone.
sure.
I have not gotten any response from him since this, and then also from when I was involved with a hit and run, somebody hit and running on me back in last June. He has not responded to any of that as well. Where he said, just call me and make an appointment. When I have, he has not responded to me repeatedly. That's all I have for this.
Thank you. Councilman Wood, old business? New business, Councilman Clark.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Probably gonna steal, Councilman Landry's thunder on this one. But, we are now in bag season for our lawn debris, so please bag. It is so much nicer when you drive down the street and see lawn debris bags. It's such a much cleaner looking street. And we are in the season, so please bag. Thank you. Sorry.
Councilman Landry. New business.
The Procol Preserve took a big step forward last Saturday with the official unveiling of our concept and design for repurposing the old West Falls Swim Tennis Club. We had a good group showed up of city residents, we had about 70 people. Bella with some money that we were given by the city to do the concept and design, did a nice job presenting a video. We're now live with a website. It's called rockwellpreserve.org. There's some interesting information, historical information about the project, if you want to take a look at it. It will now be moving forward into our next phase, which is determine where you get the money. It's a combination presentation on Saturday. We're going to do everything we possibly can to make sure that none of this development is put on the local taxpayers' backs. Now, you can say we're not going to apply for federal grants. We absolutely are. If we apply for state grants, we absolutely will. But we won't be looking for any property tax or sales tax to support this. So it's a good project, and glad to see it move forward. I thank everybody who showed up. I want to congratulate police officer John Norton, who was recently recognized. If you don't know John, John's down there, salt of the earth guy who does a wonderful job for our police department. He's great amongst people in the community. It's a great image for us. And you talk to anybody and they're sort of happy that he's a resource officer. Let's all pay for middle school. So congratulations to John on that. Lastly, I mailed a letter to all the present school crossing guards. It's that time of year again. I'd like to recognize them for all the good work they do. As I said before, they're not just there to protect our children, they're great ambassadors for the city. They do a great job. I'd like to ask the mayor to possibly declare June 10th to be our next common council meeting. It's Glens Falls School Crossing Guard Day. I've got a letter that's gone out to all the school crossing guards. I'm going to be sending a letter out to the school to ask them to tell the students to acknowledge these great individuals that they see every single day. So that'll be a good effort. I think. Well, thank you.
Are you going to invite them to come to the council?
Yes.
Yep. Can you send me an email remind me of that so we make sure? Thank you, sir. Councilor Palmer, new business.
I just wanted to say I attended that Crockwell Pond meeting and I really impressed and grateful to you and and the other volunteers from the community that have stepped up. I think it's going to be a great project for the city, and I appreciate the efforts to create a 501(c)(3) and insulate the taxpayers from that liability. I'm excited about it. I had a question. I asked last council meeting about the parking tickets that were handed out to a bunch of high school students. And you said you'd get back to me. I never heard back. But I continue to get emails from parents who have been frustrated. If I'm understanding correctly, there's some sort of sheet that the student needs to fill out or the parent needs to fill out and then bring it in and turn it in. That's what one parent told me.
It's a student form, but you only have 10 days. So, you don't have
Just a comment from this particular parent, which I totally understand as a mom of a junior in high school, was just, it's a busy time of year. The kids are really busy, all the testing and the end of sports and parents are busy. So it just seems like we kind of created a hassle for them to now have to do this. And she was just asking, is there any better way around this and will this happen again? And I told her that I would find out because I had brought this up and you said you were short back.
I did, and
There is a better way around it, and it's called following the rules. Because the streets are well marked, they tell you where to park. And this happens at the end of the year, kids get a badge where they can drive, and they start parking where they shouldn't be parking. And you have 10 days to dispute it, but it's always like that, I'm telling you, it's been like that forever. And it's a matter of following the rules. I mean, the signs are there, and usually during the year, you can go by there and it's fine. The streets are fine, but it's like the neighbors, they don't want the kids parking in front of their homes all day because that's what the sign says.
I appreciate your perspective, and I know you used to do this, so I know you have an informed perspective. I will say that in the 8 years I've been on the Common Council, I've never seen a situation where we blanket ticketed every single person in a radius for not following the 2-hour limit. I get that there's a complaint-driven thing, like someone's blocking a driveway, we go out, we ticket for that. That totally is valid, it makes sense. I don't see any public good in just ticketing all the kids. I understand what you're saying, but back to my question. Will that continue? And also, is there any other way to get around this dispute form, or should I just respond back to the constituents who have asked that this is what they have to do?
please have the constituents send me their tickets. I apologize, first of all. I told you I'd follow up with you, and I think I started to, and I got some information, I believe, but I don't have enough that I wanted. I believe what happened is there were several neighbors who complained about students, and that they gave tickets to those, and then then the enforcement officer saw other violations. And so, but I did, so first of all, I just need to apologize to you. Have them send their tickets to me, and I'll see what I can do, and I'll also follow up with you and I'll actually send you a full email of what happened so you can understand the situation. We're not regularly enforcing that, going out of our way to enforce that area.
That's what
We're definitely not, and something happened, but I gotta be honest, I started it and then I must have gotten somewhere off, because I can't remember exactly what I was told, and I should have followed up with you. So let me do that. Please, respond to everybody and just have them bring it to
Do
me.
you want them to take a picture and email it to you?
They could be fine.
Okay,
Fine.
because otherwise if they have to come bring you the ticket, they might as well bring it.
That's fine.
Okay.
All right, it would be planned.
Was it all overtime parking? Do you know?
The emails that I'm getting are from people who got tickets for parking for longer than 2 hours during the
Overtime.
And that's a problem, because, I mean, that's like the definition of spot enforcement, which is not legitimate.
And it's just, I think it was just kind of like surprising to everybody. It's never happened, and all of a sudden they're all getting tickets. So I understand why the parents were reaching out.
Fair enough.
So, the last thing I have for new business, I had a situation in my ward in the last couple of days where there was an accidental removal of a tree. So it was, a constituent called me and said, you know, I'm at work, but someone told me my tree's being cut down, we were not informed. And then I looked into it and it sounds like it was actually supposed to be a property next to it, not that property, and it was a mistake. But another constituent who lives on that street sent me an email saying, according to the code, the common council is supposed to be approving tree removals. And so, you know, this isn't something we've regularly done. And then I looked it up and there is something that says that. I don't know if that's,
Is that in the charter,
it's in the,
in the code?
yeah, I can pull it up. It was,
Tree protection comes out of when common council needs to be notified.
it says something about the common council needing to be notified 2 weeks prior. I thought it said 2 weeks, 10 days, whatever.
Yeah.
I just don't recall that ever happening. And I was thinking to myself, had that happened, if it was in my ward and I got a notification, this house tree is gonna come down, I might make an effort to reach out to that constituent and just say, did you ask for this, or just to give you a heads up? So I just wanted to clarify that. You know, they were sad, but, you know, accepted it. They want a new tree, so Yeah.
Can you share with me the address?
I will, yes.
Thank you. Let me follow up that there is a code written and it's not being followed. So we'll start to follow.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. That is, it. Under new business, I just wanted, so. New business, Councilman. No, thank you. Councilman, Good. New business.
I just wanted to just comment too about John Norton. Just happy that he was recognized. He's a really good school officer, well deserving of that award. And I also want to just comment on the parade. What a great turnout Glens Kingsbury parade was this year. Seemed like it was one of the best parades I think ever. It was well attended. It was a great day. Finally, we got no rain for our parade. It was just a wonderful day. And
In keeping with the spirit of the weekend, it did rain later on.
it was cold, but at least we got through the parade.
I just have one thing. Okay, I just wanted to thank the clerk's office for looking into these, you know, what we're doing with the agenda and getting things organized in a way that's a little better. I'd still like to see the controller tie together the appropriations of money a little bit better, because it's still difficult to look through. But that was something I reached out to Mark and he said he'd get to that after he was working on some other fires. But I really appreciate that. It's I know that it was like finding some things that we were doing that were not quite right, and then also getting the, yes, we need to make sure we go through individually, but having them together is a big improvement. And I know it's going to be a little bit of us here. Thank you.
Under new business, I just want to, there was a great new experience that I had, which was about a week before the parade, volunteering and laying flags at both the St. Mary's Cemetery and the Bay Street Cemetery. They usually do it in a full morning. There's about 24 different volunteers who are led by the VFW and the VFW Auxiliary. I want to encourage everybody to put it on your calendar. I know you guys are big on community service too, and it's the most touching thing I've experienced in an awful long time. Make a huge difference to put flags out in veterans' graves throughout this. It was literally done. They all get together for lunch at the Talk of the Town afterwards, which was a nice benefit. But it's truly astounding, and they've asked us to publicize it so that get more people involved. It was over 24 people there, and it was a great day. And then I agree, the parade, it's amazing to see this community and then coming out for the parade, and the spirit of Memorial Day is amazing. Coming up this weekend, we have the 5K race, the Haviland's Cove Aloha 5K. And then on Sunday, we have the Pride March as well, Pride Day. And then on Friday, just to remind people that this Friday, the 30th, the Pride flag will go up at our designated flagpole, be up in the 4th of June, as planned, and wanted you to know that was all happening the way that we agreed to it last year. So that's happening. I believe the march starts at 10 a.m., I think, on Sunday. And check the calendar, though, don't trust me, but that is this Sunday. That's all I had for new business. We should open up to public comment. Again, anybody looking to address the council can come and tell us your name and address.
Sean Caldina, 32 Peter Beck, and there's one more exciting thing happening this weekend. Friday and Saturday from 10 to 4 is the Spring Friends book sale at the library, community room. Hundreds and hundreds of books, so definitely get out to the library.
Thank you. Not seeing any other public comment. We will accept a motion to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
We stand adjourned. Thank you.